Hey kiddos, it's Mrs. McDaniel, and I'm here to help you with your Week 2 packet. Let's get started. The first page is solving multiplication problems. We know that we can use different strategies to help us solve our multiplication problems, like drawing a picture, repeated addition, or skip counting. So let's take a look at the first problem. It is 10 times 4. So our first factor is 10, and right away that should tell you skip counting because you're all really great at skip counting by 10. So you should just skip count by 10 4 times. So we'd say 10, 20, 30, 40. So our product is 40. However, just to show you and remind you the other strategies, you could draw a picture. You could draw 4 groups and put 10 in each group. You could draw an array that has 10 rows and put 4 in each row, and then you could count up all of your little dots. And yes, this does take a while, but to check to make sure that you're right, you can do this strategy. Or you could use repeated addition. If we're using repeated addition, we could use 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. And we would start in the ones column. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. So this is just another way that you can check to make sure that you got the correct product. Now, the next problem is 5 times 6, which automatically when you see that factor 5, you should tell your brain to skip count because you're really good at skip counting by 5. So you would skip count by 5 6 times. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So we know the product is 30. You could use one of the other strategies to check your skip counting. However, let's move to a little bit harder one. At the end of the row, we have 11 times 3. So this one you can really count on one of those other strategies such as repeated addition, where you can do 11 plus 11 plus 11. So you would start in the ones column. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So you know your product is 33. However, you know me and I love to draw pictures. So we could draw a picture for this. You could either do 11 groups of 3 or you could do 3 groups of 11. And you could count up all of your little marks, and there should be 33 of them. So that was just a little video to show you and remind you of all of your multiplication strategies. Hi kiddos, the next page in week 2 is division. So we know that we can count on a couple different division strategies to help us solve these problems. The first problem is 10 divided by 2. Now, if we were in class, you know I would say, Mom has 10 pieces of candy to share between you and your sister. So here you are, and here's your sister, and Mom is going to give 1 piece of candy to each person to make sure that she keeps it fair or equal. And she would have 5 pieces of candy for you and 5 pieces of candy for your sister. So 10 divided by 2 equals 5. Now we know that I always like to see you check your division with multiplication. So then use your related multiplication fact and check it. 2 times 5 does equal 10. So we will look at another problem together, and the next problem gets a little bit harder, and it's 36 divided by 9. So let me erase the board. Get 36 divided by 9 equals blank. So once again, you could draw an equal groups picture, pretend you're talking about candy or something that you want to share between 9 different people, or you could do an array. So this time I'm going to make 9 rows. And we're going to give 1 to each row all the way to 36. So here we're at 18, 7, and 36. So we know that in each row there are 4, and we can check it using our multiplication fact. 9 times what equals 36, and we know that the factor 4 belongs there, so we checked our division with a multiplication fact. Hey kiddos, on page 3 in your week 2 packet, we are counting money. We know when we are counting money that we want to start with our greatest value bill or coin, and then go to the next greatest value coin, all the way down to the penny. So you can see on your paper that it's already sorted for you, starting with the greatest value bill and coin down to the least value. So we're going to write our running total underneath each bill and coin. So if we have $1 bill, we have $1. If we have a $1 bill and we get a quarter, we need to count on 25. So we have $1.25. The next coin that we have is a dime, and we know that a dime is worth 10 cents, so we will add 10 more cents, so we'll have $1.35. Then we have 3 nickels, so this is where we can count on 5 fives, so we have $1.40, $1.45, $1.50. And our last 3 coins are all pennies, so we know that we will just count by ones. So we have $1.51, $1.52, and $1.53. So your total amount of money is $1.53. Have fun counting money. Hey kiddos, page 4 of your week 2 packet is telling time. So what we have here is an analog clock. So we know that we are telling the time on an analog clock. We need to look for our short hour hand first. So if we look at our short hour hand, if we would just extend this, we would see that it is pointing right after the 2. So we know that our hour is 2. Then we look at our long minute hand and we see that it is pointing right at the number 3. When we are counting with our minute hand, we count by 5. So we know this is 5, 10, 15. So 15 minutes have gone by. So our time is 2:15. Another way to say 2:15 would be a quarter after 2. Have fun telling time. Hey kiddos, it's the last page of your week 2 packet, and we are going to talk about area and perimeter. So first, to figure out area, area is the measure of number of square units needed to cover a flat surface. So it's the inside of the shape. So we know we can use the formula that area equals length times width. So let's say I have this square, and I know that my width is 4 and my length is 4. One way you can figure this out is doing 4 times 4 equals blank. Or, just like an array, you could do 4 rows, and then make sure you have 4 columns, and you could count up all of the square units needed to cover the inside. And either way, you should get the answer of 16 square units. So now let's talk about the perimeter of the same shape. So the perimeter is the distance around a figure. So what we need to do for that formula is we need to do the side plus the side plus the side plus our last side. So say we have the same square and we know that this side is 4, this side is 4, this side is 4, and this side is 4 units long. So to find the perimeter, we would do 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and that equals 16 units. So just remember that the area is the inside of the shape and the perimeter is the distance around the outside of the shape. You can do it. Last page. See you later.